Hey everyone, it's Ryan from Rocky Mountain Cigar Show. Welcome to another live Thursday night episode. Now, my voice sounds incredibly strained, and if you were on watching my Tuesday episode with Danny Ravanelli of 505 Cigar Review called Raw Cigar Reviews on Tuesday, you would know that. So I lost my voice over the weekend, which made my wife incredibly happy. So this is not an audio issue, I promise. But the voice is coming back. It's not as strong as it was. Fortunately, I have two guests on tonight, so they'll do double the talking to make me have to talk less. But who's anybody kidding? I'm going to talk just as much, especially since these guys are great guys. Tonight, we're going to be smoking the Cigar Clowns Faca Lancero. Now, this was given to me by a very good friend of mine, Danny Ravanelli, over at 505, as one of the few Lanceros that he absolutely loves. So I have been eagerly waiting to smoke this. Now, quick shout out here to all of the show sponsors. We have Drew Estate. Thank you so much for backing me and being in the corner. Same with BAMF Cigars, ROCF Cigars. Please, for both BAMF Cigars and ROCF Cigars, use my promo code RMCS15 for 15% off the entire website. Also, big shout out to New Air Humidors. If you're looking for a quality humidor and you live out where I live in the very dry, arid part of the country called Colorado, definitely check out New Air Humidors. Jump in the description. You'll see a 15% off promo code. Good for, I'm pretty sure, the entire site, but I know for sure, at least on the humidors. Christoph Cigars as well. Big shout out, Jared and Glenn, all of them. Thank you so much for supporting me. We also have Abe DeBabna over at smokin.com. Smokin Cigars, best damn cigar of the month club you will ever join, hands down. As well as, I don't know if I'm going to be drinking tonight because of how my throat feels, but Axe and Oak. And if I was drinking, it would only be Axe and Oak. This is my favorite bourbon. And my wife and I had been drinking it for years before I reached out to these guys to come aboard. They looked at the show. We met. They just completely jumped on board. We also have McAuliffe Cigars and a new company that just hit the market, Sagrado Cigars. Jump on to sagradocigars.com. You can buy all of your cigars, coffee, and everything else straight from there. It's a Colorado-based company as well. All their stuff's made in the Dominican Republic, and the owner will be coming on here in the next couple of months. So enough talking from me. My voice needs to kind of relax. Let's go ahead and add in Joe and Ray to the stream. How y'all doing today?
What's going on,
Ryan?
Oh man, does my voice sound as bad as I think it does?
No, I think you're over exaggerating.
Oh,
I think
I think it's very raspy and very sexy. If I had to put my 2 cents on.
Oh well, yeah. You keep talking like that, I'm going to charge you 2 cents.
That's fine. I'll even do 99. I'll up it.
1-900 Rocky Mountain Cigar Show.
Yeah.
So
Getting rocky in the mountains.
I see Ray turned a light on. We were able to illuminate his face. And then Joe. So why don't we just start here? Ray, why don't you introduce yourself? Joe, introduce yourself. And then both you guys kind of jump in and give us the background story on Cigar Clowns.
Go ahead, Joe. You can go first. Since you're going to take up 90% of the conversation anyway, might as well take the lead.
I don't like to talk much. I'm Joe.
No.
Joe from the Cigar Clowns. One of the 5 partners. I like to consider myself the head janitor because I'm always cleaning up shit and getting everything done, man. This is my partner, Ray. Ray, you can take the floor.
I am Ray. I am a proud brand owner of the Cigar Clowns, one of 5. I'm also the face of the brand, if you don't know. If you don't take by the logo, you can see that's kind of that's a little tease we have for in between us. We're based out of New York City. All blue collar guys. kind of our story began during COVID. We consider ourselves to be one of the success stories of COVID, in such a bad time that we're in, and dealing with the pandemic and being on lockdown. Myself, a little bit of backstory on us is myself, Joe, and Nick know each other for over 25 years. We grew up in the same neighborhood together. Danny, our other partner, is a friend of mine through some other mutual friends who I've known for almost 20 years. And Stevie Murphs is a friend of mine who I work with in my real job, in my real life, and in the real world when I'm not, playing Superman and have the Clark Kent outfit on during the day, not the Cigar Clowns. So he's and I've known Murph now for almost 15 years, I'd say 14 or 15 years. So we, we're avid cigars. But listen, first and foremost, we're consumers first before we became brand owners. We just didn't wake up and we weren't, farm owners or family descendants of a farm owner or a brand or a blender or anything like that. We're average Joes. We all have, blue collar jobs, and we are avid cigar smokers. We've been smoking cigars for a very long time. We've attended many events throughout the years. We started off as big, huge, ginormous Drew Estate supporters. That's like part of my journey getting into cigars. I started in acid, and my first cigar I ever had was a Cuban through my grandfather. But first cigars I've ever had was acid. I worked my way up to Undercrown and so on and so forth. So during the pandemic, we used to go to a lot of events together. And once we got locked down and there was no sports or anything going on, we were kind of doing this whole vibe on FaceTime every night for the most part. We were smoking cigars every single night. We all of us never stopped working during the pandemic. We all were working during the pandemic, and we would come home and it's like our downtime, our relaxed time, and we just kind of, shoot the shit. And myself, Nick, Joe, we all know people in the industry. And like, you know what, man, like with this whole pandemic thing going on, like, why don't we try to make a cigar for our little face group where we have of people who we hang out with on the regular, and let's just do something. Let's have fun. We love cigars so much. We miss going to events. Let's just do our own thing. So we made a couple of phone calls, and, we reached out to a couple of people here and there, got pointed to this one and that one. And our first run that we made back in 2020 was a run of 500 sticks. We got them out to our friends and family. We sold a couple to people who we know, and we got a little bit of a buzz, and people kind of liked what we were doing. So we kind of liked the vibe, and we kind of just started to, let's do another run. Let's do another run. And I'll let Joe jump in because I don't want to take all the spotlight. I'll give you the forefront. He can give you the the rest of the ingredients that you put into the special sauce.
Listen, man, you just,
while I like my cigar.
That's right. You just summed it up. You answered all his questions he had for the night, so we're good.
All right, guys. It was a pleasure being on the show.
Thanks,
Ryan, thank you for everything.
That was the quickest show I've ever done.
No, so we're on the journey to find the perfect stick.
Short and sweet.
I was giving you the.
I was giving you the.
He was giving you the forefront.
Sorry.
He was giving you frontal.
He pulled the curtain back for you.
You gotta let me know. You gotta let me know. I'm looking at a blank screen over here. I see my mug.
Ryan, the social media stuff. He's not used to the red carpet treatment. He doesn't know. You kind of scared him a little bit.
Old guy. I was a tombstone chipper. So anyway, yeah, man, we're on the journey to find the perfect stick. We are consumers, as Ray said. We love the leaf. So we want to try as many blends, as many vitolas, as many combinations as possible, and share the best of the best that we find with everybody. Ray is smoking. Is that the not Ron or the OG Ron?
This is the not Ron.
Ray is smoking the not Ron. I'm smoking the Recession, which was a stick that we just had made for Barclay Rex, one of the oldest tobacconist shops in New York City.
The Flacco.
Smoking the Flacco. How you doing? That's a great stick right there.
That was a shop exclusive for Main Street Cigars in Woodbridge, New Jersey.
And that was part of our 3-ring circus. Like we had 3 really, for us, really hard to roll cigars. We did them in a very limited quantity, under 2,000 sticks each one. Right. And there was two Lanceros and what was that short?
A Petit Corona. Petit Corona.
It was a what was it, a 3.5 by 40?
You're gonna have to read those because I can't. I got them on my phone. I can't even see it.
So many sticks. But man,
this is just somebody saying, "Good to see some East Coasters on the show."
Yeah, baby.
Blunt, sarcastic humor gets lost on a lot of people out here.
Listen, by the middle of the episode, it's going to be like I said, an episode of The Sopranos. Trust me, when we start going back and forth, and the accent really kind of hits hard with the consonants and the vowels, believe me. And I start cursing, forget it. Anyway,
well, the show's just going to end with a dark screen.
So kind of touching on what Joe was saying. So we all are Lancero lovers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we kind of started in our infancy, we were kind of always trying to get our ear out there and trying to, talk to different people and find the Lancero. So we couldn't find people ask, when do you guys put out a Lancero? We want to put out a Lancero. We've tried so many of them. They're not good. We haven't gotten any that we liked and X, Y, and Z. And we finally got a tester run of 2 Lanceros, and both of them was so good. And we had gotten and so different, both different. The Payaso Flaco, which is what you're smoking, and then the Clowncero, and then you have the Greenie. We wanted to do it kind of helped us form this project. We wanted to give back to 3 shops that were huge supporters of us from day one, or like in our first year when we finally took that step forward. I know we'll go all over the place back and forth about the brand, but when we finally got the step forward to kind of put us out there, and we had a nice buzz going back in 21, in the middle of 21, we wanted to pay homage to these shops that supported us and believed in what we were doing as a boutique craft brand. So OGT Cigars, shout out to Eric at OGT Cigars, Brian Lewis at Caravan Cigars in Beth, Pennsylvania, and Main Street Cigars, Alex at Main Street Cigars in Woodbridge. So we wanted to give them the opportunity. We called it the 3-ring circus, and what we were going to do is for a month span, we would drop a stick exclusively for one shop, OGT being the first with the Clowncero. Then a couple of weeks later, we would drop the exclusive to Caravan, that was the Greenie, that was the little short Petit Robusto, and then the Flaco, which is what you're smoking, went to Main Street Cigars in Woodbridge a couple of weeks later. And what we did is we put a little contest out there that said anybody who got their hands on all 3 would win merch or stickers or whatever. I don't even remember what we decided to do. I'm sure Joe can verify, but we did a little contest.
We crashed 2 websites, and we took out one of the credit card processing machines that the guy didn't have a website.
It's awesome.
They shut them down for fraud.
It's got to make you feel great, right?
Yeah, right.
It does, man. It does. We're gonna make a shirt of all the websites we crash when we do an exclusive.
We'll do the anonymous picture, but we'll put the clown face on it and have them at the computer.
It's great, man. We crashed OGT's site once. We crashed Caravan. We crashed Pravada 2 times. When we were first coming out. Yeah, man. It's just great. It's just great.
So obviously, from what you hear from a lot of people in the industry, the quickest way to make $1 million in the cigar world is to start with 2.
That's the truth right there, man.
So genuine question. Obviously, you guys didn't foresee COVID happening.
No.
You probably already went down the tunnel too far to turn around at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Why go into the cigars? Why not just be a casual smoker, or like why add that additional stress?
Well, I would say we're definitely not in it for the money. We have 5 partners, so whatever shekels we make to split it up, it's not even worth it. We just put it right back into the product. Anybody, like you said, anybody in the cigar industry does it for passion, right? We love cigars. We always say we're consumers. There's nothing better than getting. I'm into different cigars. I like transitions. I never smoke the same stick 2 days in a row, twice in one day. I want to have, and I smoke 4 or 5 cigars a day. So I would like to have a variety, and I like something different. And we're kind of in a cigar renaissance right now. It's the best time to be a cigar smoker. Let's face it, there's so many great blenders, great tobacco. They're taking seeds from all over, putting them in different countries, and it's totally different. It's just what a great time to be a cigar smoker. And if you
Did?
smoked through the 90s and early 2000s, you used to buy a box. You know,
Yeah.
you got your Drew Estate, you got your nines, you know, and that was it. Or if you were a Davidoff guy, you only smoked Davidoffs.
Right.
You know.
Ryan, to basically kind of, bounce off of what Joe's saying to your question, I think the way we really looked at it is we like Joe said, we have such a passion for this. This is what brings people together at the end of the day, right? You can sit in a lounge, you can talk to a judge, you can talk to a construction worker, a teacher, a student, doesn't matter. And everybody has one common interest in that lounge, and that says that we're lounge lizards. Joe will tell you, we love going to events, we love going to hang out in lounges, we love talking to different types of people about cigars in general. We have such a passion for the leaf that we thought to ourselves, fuck it. Let's make a cigar. It's cool. Like, oh, bro, we got a cigar. We got little paper bands. We're sitting in Nikki's house and we're putting the bands on and we're putting them in the cellophane. And, it's like, oh, this is cool. It's something to do during COVID. We have nothing to do. Like, we're at Joe's office and we're putting them in the sleeves and we're putting them in Ziploc bags and we're sending them out. Who wants it? Joe's friend in Texas wanted some. So we sent them some out to Texas. So
it was great.
I think the end game from the beginning was we'll make a couple cigars. We'll get them out to our people. Maybe we'll make them gifts for people at the end of the year. Maybe we'll do like a restaurant event. We'll have some people come down because we know a bunch of restaurant owners. We'll have like a little cigar night like some people do. When I tell you, and I'm not bullshitting you, did we think we would be where we're sitting today 3 years ago when we started? I don't think any of us saw this. Basically what turned it around for us is when Brian from Pravada reached out to us and it's like, yo, I love what you guys are doing. I love your story. I love what you're about. Let's do something together. And then from there, it kind of, Ron came along, AJ Fernandez, and then it's like, we started getting the buzz. And once we started to see the momentum and people loving what we were doing and the cigars that we were finding and the process that we go to do things, and our brand developed this specific process on how we break down each stick that we put out, it became fun. It became, what are we doing next? Then, we have a band committee out of the five of us, myself, Murphy, and Danny do all the band artwork and get the bands done. And we come up with the concepts. And when we smoke the cigar, we come up with the name. So it just became so engulfed in it that it just took us, and we became more passionate about it. The more feedback and the love and the cult following that we got, it just kind of, it just kept us moving forward. And it's like, and now we're here almost, going into year 4 at this point. And it's just been a fucking hell of a ride, man. And it's exciting. It's exciting to go meet people who we've met so many people through social media, like through Danny. Danny's one of I've never met Danny in person, but I can tell you right now, I consider Danny one of my really good friends, and I talk to him very often. It's like,
absolutely.
And I think Joe was talking about a cigar renaissance, and we're in the cigar industry at the right time with a lot of the new blood and the boutique and the craft movement kind of pushing the industry forward. Technology has been a huge part of that. These StreamYard, YouTube, lives on Instagram, lives on Facebook. These are bringing people across the country together.
Take it even step back with the technology, the farms, the technology that they're using on the farms to check the pH, to check the water, so they know the exact day when they need to start the process.
Absolutely.
It's just everything. It's just the level. We're just leveling up on so many different levels, man.
So, I mean, let's kind of back up a little bit. The last couple of years, when you guys release something, it's fucking gone. What was that like? Like, obviously, when you're making a cigar, you're probably like, oh shit, I just hope people like it. I just want people to buy. If we sell a box,
that's Joe.
We sell a box, I'm going to be happy. In one day, we sell a box. And all of a sudden, bam, you guys are the hottest toy at Christmas, and you're off the shelf and gone. And it's almost like that with every fucking release.
Right.
Yeah,
What
man.
does that make you feel like that first time that happens? But part 2 to that question is, then the follow-up it happens, and then the follow-up it happens, and then now this is like a constant thing with you guys where you do a release and it's gone. How does that make you feel? Does that give you some sort of false sense of of
No.
wanting to be like, yes, screw you guys, or just like, wow, I'm so humble that everybody
Yeah.
wants this.
Humbling is the
Ryan,
word. People get tired of me
humbling is
saying
the
it.
word.
Yeah, humble.
And
Yeah.
the anxiety that I get, about each cigar we put out, because we have to live up to that, right? We check all the boxes, we do our process, we trust the process, but we have to make sure our consumer base is growing, that they want to be part of the journey, right? Because you're gonna smoke one stick and then you're gonna be like, well, what are they doing next? And I think we have people smoking our sticks waiting for us to fail as well, because it's part of the process. Like if we have a misstep, we're gonna tumble, and the Cigar Clowns will be a story about five, bozos from Brooklyn.
Speak for yourself.
Hey, take it easy. That
Hey, Bozo's
fumbled
from
the ball.
Chicago.
But yeah, man, it's humbling. It's humbling, and what really got me is like the first time hanging out with people that I like, that I watch on YouTube and Instagram, and like seeing them in person, and they're asking me for my autograph. I'm like, I want your autograph too, man.
Right.
My autograph? Like, what the fuck? What are
It
we
certainly
talking
is a
about here?
different experience.
Yeah, man.
First time somebody asked me for my picture, I was like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
sure.
Right.
Like, you talking to me?
Exactly. It's crazy, man.
So what are we, go ahead, sorry.
No. I just wanted to kind of follow up to what Joe was
Yeah.
saying as far as the two-part question. Yeah, humbling is definitely the word for us, man. Like, I was kind of I say it a lot when I do these interviews. Like for me, like I think it's that New York gritty, that New York confidence, that we're not cocky by any means. And if somebody who doesn't know us might think we're cocky and we think we're the shit, it's just we're confident in what we do. And I think we've kind of mastered our craft as far as our process is concerned, as far as how we go about doing things. So it's like, and it takes five of us. People will say, wow, you guys got 5 partners. How do you guys manage doing with so many chefs in the kitchen? It works for us because Joe's got his thing that he's good at. He's got his niche. I got my niches in certain things. If we can't figure something out, we might go to Murphy. He might have an answer, or Nick might have an answer, or Danny might have an answer, or the three of us might come up with a conclusion, and the other two are like, oh yeah, you know what, that's right. But for us, it's a humbling experience, and I think the best way to describe it is that once we started seeing the result of the hard work that we put in by putting the process together of picking sticks and blends and retweaking blends and figuring out and having people trust our palate and what we're doing, it motivated us to continue moving forward on that journey to find the perfect stick. That's where I think the motivation and the humbleness comes from to do what we do.
And Ryan, sorry to cut you off, to touch on trust our palate. Our palate's not anymore just our palate. We actually have a taste test panel now that we bring in, and that we have 15. Dan's part of it. Dan 505.
Yes.
We have about 15 people, 16 people on it, and we go through the sticks, man. The good, the bad, the ugly, and we have a wide range of palettes on there, from newbies to cigar reviewers, man. Look at that.
This thing is smoking exceptionally nice. No issues. The draw on this thing is delightful. And that's what I've noticed about your guys' stuff. Your stuff doesn't really run. Like, it all smokes laser straight amongst the stuff that Danny has been so kind to send over. So why Cigar Clown? Where did that? Are we like an '80s Killer Clowns from Outer Space fan?
No.
Or it, or something like that? Like, where did that come from?
Did you want me to take that one, Joe?
Go ahead, Ray. That's you, man.
So basically, myself and my partner Nick, and like I was saying earlier, myself, Joe, and Nick know each other from the neighborhood growing up in Brooklyn. Myself and Nicky, we used to work in the catering business years ago when we were kids. Worked my way from busboy to bartender to doing head tables and all that stuff, and he was doing maitre d' and stuff like that. So back then when I was working with him, I wasn't smoking cigars. I had just been introduced to cigars probably about a year or two after he left, and me and him didn't really speak for a while. We had each other's number, but he went on with his life. I went on with mine. I was young. I was kind of figuring out what I was doing. And funny enough, Facebook is what brought us back together. Getting into Facebook and Facebook coming about how many years ago, going back to 2002, 2003, we connected on Facebook. I had started smoking cigars slowly. And funny enough, Mike Messina, Joe, I don't know if you know this, but Mike Messina had a block party. Nikki was there. And that's when me and Nikki had kind of gotten together for the first time after being, working in the catering business for a while. And we started smoking cigars. He's like, oh, what are you smoking? I'm like, I'm smoking Don Diego's. I'm smoking Acid. I'm smoking Asylum 13s out of like 70 gauge cigars. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just smoking cigars. So me and him started hanging out at his backyard in Staten Island, his first house that he had in Staten Island on Friday night. So he came up with the slogan. He would call me up during the week. He goes, hey, what do you put in your mouth on Friday nights? I'm like, oh, cigar, ha, 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 funny. You going to come by for a smoke? Yeah, I'll come by for a smoke. We'll hang out. So one day there was a bunch of us hanging out in the yard, and I'm a big mafia movie nostalgia. That's like my thing, like Goodfellas, Casino, Bronx Tale. Like those are my things that I love, that I enjoy watching. And I'm able to recite many lines from each of those movies. So Nicky had made a comment when we were hanging out. He's like joking around, guys, you guys are just a bunch of clowns. You hearing the music, goes, Cigar Clowns. That's what we should call ourselves, Cigar Clowns. It'll be a little crew that we hang out with and make a Facebook page. So that's how the name Cigar Clowns had come about. And our original logo that we had was the Tilly Clown from Coney Island, because Coney Island, we all went to Coney Island as a kid, and it was a clown. It was a famous clown. It represented New York and Coney Island and the nostalgia of Brooklyn, and where we grew up. So that was the original clown that we used before we, changed it over to the logo that we currently have today. So the name itself, Cigar Clowns, had come from hanging out in Nicky's backyard 20 years ago, joking around. I quoted Goodfellas, and he's like, yeah, yeah, we're a bunch of clowns, we're just cigar clowns. And that's how the name came about.
Wow. So it was a cigar club before a
correct
company.
Yes.
And by the way, Goodfellas, I know I might get some grief for this, is in my opinion the best mafia movie, and I do personally like it over the Godfather series. I love the first Godfather, but the second one's great too. The third one, but we actually have somebody here that says, John says you should do a 2-time cigar like Joey 2-time. It's a good way to smoke it twice. Goodfellas reference.
Gotta get the papers.
Yeah. I love that movie. I watch it now and I'm like, wow, several of these people are no longer with us. Paul Sorvino,
yeah, rest in peace.
Leota, and so, but no, I think that's my wife and I's favorite movie. Doesn't matter where in the movie it is. If it's on TV, we're like, yeah, we'll watch it. We'll watch it.
I'm the same way.
Paul eating that sandwich. What is he eating? The broccoli rabe and sausage?
No, sausage and peppers. Sausage and peppers.
Sausage peppers.
That's a pro right there. That you can't. That's not acting. That is true life. You don't need.
You got the napkin. He's taking a couple bites. Got the napkin.
Paulie moves pretty slow, but Paulie doesn't have to move fast for anyone.
Nope. Your fault. Your fault.
So it's also become one of the best memes out there on the internet. The whole Ray Liotta laughing, funny guy.
I'm clown. I'm here.
So okay. So I've been in sales 20 years. I always love listening to what was it like your first experience going to a lounge trying to sell your stuff. Like, and I'm not talking a lounge that you guys know. I'm talking about somewhere you haven't been before, where you show up with a briefcase, you're traveling salesman for the weekend. What was that like for you guys? Who did it? Did all 5 of you go out? Was it just you, Ray, or Ray and Joe, or just you, Joe? How did that work out?
So at first we started with the lounges that we smoked.
We frequent.
Right. Yeah, and I'll tell you, still to this day, a lounge that me and Ray would go to once a week has not taken our sticks. We were loyal customers once a week.
Ooh, I see that. I see that
Yeah.
aggression in the
Yeah.
eyes right there. Ray's
Oh,
the whole
dude.
face just went.
Yep. So he told us, I'll give you exact words, that these cigars are not for his clients. I'm like, really? So we
What
used to
does that
go there.
even mean?
We used to go there and freaking sell our cigars bootleg there. That's right, Alec. We did it, man. Fuck off. I said, if you're watching, you'll never get my cigars in your shop, pal. Never, never. But so the first calls to get into other shops. I mean, Nikki did a lot of the calls, and believe it or not, people were contacting us. It was real different, man. We have a list of shops that want to sell our cigars, and we don't have product for them. They're on the list. And we get availability as our runs grow. We slowly add to them, and we're lucky that they're still waiting around. We're blessed. We're really blessed, and I mean, good quality shops that that been wanting our sticks, and we just starting to give them sticks.
Now you guys are more of a small batch producer, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not 10,000, 15,000 boxes worth of a single line produced at a certain time, right? You guys are generally more inside of that 500 to 2,000, 2,500 boxes type stuff, right?
Yeah, we do 5-packs. So I'd say like our runs, we base them off sticks, or anywhere from 15 to 25,000 each run that we do.
Okay. So then how much of that is retail and how much of that is online?
So I think we have a couple of shops that sell strictly online.
Right.
We don't sell anything ourselves.
Well, I knew that,
Yeah. So I would say it's probably a good mix. I'd say probably now about 50-50, right? With the shops that we're adding. It's probably 50-50 where you go into a lounge and when we drop that they're selling out right away. That people know to go in and they're calling their shop owner to hold the 5-pack, hold a 10-pack.
Right.
I'll come in Thursday when I get paid type of thing.
So then is the goal for Cigar Clowns to just continuously grow and kind of try to dominate over multiple states, spreading out across the country? Or do you guys kind of like it where it's at now? Because right now it's very easily controllable quality wise versus if you get too big, too fast, especially that quality can kind of go down. And that's something that you guys are very well known for is quality.
Yeah, we're all about the quality control. That's why we're growing slowly. It would be very easy to, triple production and throw the cigars everywhere, and but we feel that the quality is the number one thing because we're consumers at the end of the day. There's nothing worse than getting a shitty stick when you buy a 5-pack and 3 of them are plugged. Or 2 of them are plugged. Listen, a plugged cigar is going to happen. And if you ever get a plugged cigar, reach out to me, and my brand, and we'll replace it for you. It's a hand rolled product coming from Nicaragua, so there is going to be something in there once in a while that gets fucked up. It's human nature. But when you grow too quick, we don't want. That's my worst nightmare.
Well, yeah, because you guys right now have the name to grow as fast as you almost want.
Mm-hmm.
As far that's kind of what I'm getting at. So, like, is that a bone of contention amongst the 5 owners where you guys might have like 1 or 2 or like, let's put the gas on this, like let's go while we can, kind of like the musicians, like when we're hot, let's go, let's put out stuff, and then are some of you guys like, no, let's keep it back? Like, what does that dichotomy look like?
I think we're all lockstep with our growth plan.
That's amazing.
Just putting out the best quality because we know that we're a young company and how fragile we really are. Just for example, if Drew Estate has a misstep, you know what? All right, they burned $1 million. They take the sticks off the shelves and that's it. Or, you know, for some, like the last stick we put out, the 5150. It's a 5x58. We lost half of our production to Hurricane Ian. They were in a car, going to be transferred, you know, going to shops, and this floodlight. Who would realize in Orlando, Florida, the middle of the state, that a river was going to flood a day after the hurricane?
Yeah.
The hurricane was gone, you know?
Jeez.
You know, so Hurricane Ian got some great sticks. Great sticks. And then that was the worst, I believe, Ray, that was the worst thing we had to do. We had to call shops and say, listen, I can't give you that many sticks. A couple of the new shops said, I'm sorry, I can't give you any sticks.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that's horrible.
Ouch. It's
horrible.
really bad.
I'll make it up to you. I'm gonna make
Right.
it up to you.
We
Yeah,
had to, you know, in a situation like that, you know, it's kind of like when, I wouldn't say it's really a crisis, but I mean, if you want to use that word, you can use crisis. In that type of situation, you know, we got together as a collective and we're like, you know, what are we going to do? And, you know, we had three major shops, online retail that had done pre-orders. So we came together and we said, listen, if we need to pull some sticks back from some of these newest shops, unfortunately, then they need to understand that, you know, we have shops that we've been with now for a while that took pre-orders. We have to get them the supply and demand that they had pre-ordered that people had paid for already. So we, you know, went above and beyond to, you know, get the shipping out of Florida and paid extra for shipping so those shops can get them on time to get them out to their clientele. And then we kind of pulled a couple of sticks from here and moved things around and ended up working out for us. But you know, again, that just kind of shows, you know, the you know, us as a brand, like, you know, we're very customer service, you know, based. Like even what Joe said, if there's a stick that's plugged, you get a fucked up stick, we have no problem replacing it. I control all of the social media aspect for the clowns and a lot of the marketing, along with Murphy. And any questions that get sent to me on Instagram Messenger, I answer it within that day or within hours or in minutes that it comes. Any stories that get put out there, I repost. Like I'm constantly in communication with people. Anybody has any questions, they reach out or I send them in the right direction. Where's your swag? Here's the website. You know, where can I get the sticks? Here's the site. You know, even some people where it's there in your face, some people need that extra help. And yeah, some people might find that annoying, but we make ourselves available to the general public, whether it's our cult following, our day one followers, or people who are new. We make ourselves available to people to let them know that, listen, we're here, you need us. We're not stuck up and, you know, Rudy Tooty and we're like the cigar brand and we don't talk to the public type of thing, only at events. We make sure that we make ourselves available for our consumers and we make sure that the quality of the stick is there. And that's, you know, again, it kind of pays homage to saying, trust our palate and what we're doing, because, you know, the proof is in the pudding at the end of the day, and it speaks for itself. And, you know, we've developed a great following of consumers and day ones and day fives and year ones and 2 years in, and shops that believe in what we're doing. So, you know, that's the kind of the model that we're trying to build as a newer cigar company, new blood in the industry.
No, and that's awesome, because there's a lot of companies that don't take that approach.
Right.
And I don't care what vertical you're in, but there's just a lot of companies that don't take that approach, and that's awesome. I can testify that Ray is incredibly active on social media, so absolutely. But let's we have a couple of questions here. So where can we get these in Colorado? Is there a shop in Colorado, or is there an online site that you can offer up right now that Barry can go and grab some from?
I do know of one site that has this. We don't have any shops in Colorado yet, so I think that was Barry. Barry, if you're a local lounge and you want to introduce them to the clowns, have them reach out to us, you know, and we'll talk to them and take care of you. You can order the cigars right now. I know one retailer that happened to get his sticks very late. He still has some sticks, and he has a great deal on it too. It's State Line Cigars in Delaware, statelinecigars.com. And if you use the code State Line, you'll get 10% off. It's an 8-pack. It turns out to be $90 with shipping. So
That's
it's
not
free
bad at all.
shipping, and he sends a priority mail. He's a quick shipper.
Yes.
Last I checked, he had like maybe, I checked this morning, he had maybe like 40 packs left. So I
Okay.
don't know.
State Line Cigars, Barry. Barry's a good friend of the show here in Colorado Springs, if I'm correct. So, and then we have Cigar Show Tim says that you guys have established a reputation, but that he respects the desire to prolong the current model, meaning you're not trying to just suck up all the money you can. You're growing at a good rate. You're not getting in front of your skis, and you're still putting out great quality stuff. And
Appreciate that.
again, that's a testament, because the fact that all 5 of you, I've done business consulting where 3 business partners have totally different views on, because all of a sudden they went to bed and they woke up and the company's worth several $1,000,000 now, and they're like, oh, let's do this, no, let's do this, no, let's do this. And now everyone's fighting, and then people are start talking about buyouts and everything else. So the fact that all 5 of you are on the same page with pumping the brakes, let's keep it tight, let's just keep growing this thing and stepping it up the staircase versus just taking an elevator to the top, that's amazing. I definitely commend you guys for that. So, where is your main factory at? Where you guys get your? Are they all out of a singular country?
We are mainly dealing, well, right now, only dealing in Nicaragua. That's right now. We're trying to, as we speak, blend a Dominican cigar. So we're working on it. And we're trying to
AJ
blend.
Fernandez.
Yeah. No, not all of them are there out of there, but
No.
yeah, we can't reveal everything, but yes.
Of course not.
Well,
I only
everybody knows
usually
this is
ask
an AJ
country.
stick, so that's why I'm saying
everyone knows
AJ.
that's what it is. Yeah, having the king, blend a cigar for you.
El Jefe, as I call him.
Yeah, it's just.
So, do you guys go down to Nicaragua? All 5 of you go down to Nicaragua then, or do they just send? Does he send you up samples? How does that work?
Yeah, so it's right now we haven't traveled all of us to Nicaragua. It's on the books, but things keep on getting delays, and we'll get there eventually. So right now we work through interpreters, and we get shit done, man. That's it.
Are you guys going to TPE this coming year?
Yeah, you're not the first person to ask us that, man. We might just go to walk around. We're still small. We're a small fish. We're not even on anybody's radar.
Well, that's not true. Your stuff sells out instantly almost when you have a waiting list. You're on
That's just Joe
somebody's
being
radar.
humble. Don't let him fool you. Just being humble.
So
No, it's definitely not to cut you off, Brian, but it's definitely something that we've discussed as a brand, whether we're going there with passes to kind of walk around and mingle and kind of see what's going on, or, deciphering how we're going to go about it. It's definitely something, even the boutique cigar one in Indiana, we've talked about doing. I think, a lot of people, like Joe said, you're not the first person to ask us that. I think we're just extremely focused on our brand, that we want to be able to go into something like that full force and be like, this is what we got. Maybe at that point we have a legacy line. Maybe we have a bunch of sticks out at the same time. We're growing, like you kind of touched on it. We're growing at the rate that we want to grow at, and we're continuing to build. We're going into year 4 of, in the early spring of next year will be year 4 for us. So it's been a slow process. It's been a great process for us, and I think we kind of know what our timelines are of things that we want to do. This year, in year 3 is the most sticks we've put out as a brand for our catalog of the sticks that we've put out this year. I said it back in the beginning of the year in January, when I actually was speaking to Danny about it, I think on a live with him, like, this is going to be the year of the clown. Got a lot of things in the barrel. and we're ready to go, and we're going to try to hustle hard and get the consumers what they want, and continue to grow the brand. And I think that we've done a good job with that for 2022, and then moving forward into 2023. So I think we're on the right track of where we want to be in 5 years. But again, it's for us to still be a process. Listen, at the end of the day, it's humbling to hear like, oh, you guys people know who you are and stuff like that. Yeah, but you know what? At the end of the day, for us, and Joe can attest to this, we grind every single day. We claw every single day. Even though where we're at, we're still trying to climb, and we're still trying to make phone calls, and we're still trying to make moves, and we're still trying to stay relevant. So we're continuously working day in and day out. You know what I mean? We're not just sitting down and it's like, whatever, we're good.
I've taken meetings and I've had guys tell me, why would I work with you? What can you do for me?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, well, what can I do? I can try to blend the best fucking stick that could come out of your fucking factory, jerk off. No, just like, like, what can I do for you? Like, this industry is we're a speck on there. You know what I mean? So I think people still look at us as a group of cigar smokers. You know what? That's what I'd rather be. I'd rather be a cigar smoker, man, because
we like to be the underdog.
I enjoy. Yeah, that's what
Let us prove you wrong. Let us prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Well, this is a damn good Lancero.
Appreciate that.
Damn good. I am a Lancero whore, as Danny will tell you. I am one of those guys. I am one of the 1 out of 10 that will tell somebody, keep Lanceros in stock. I buy them by the box. So
we got a shop that we go to has a lot of Lanceros, man. Main Street, Woodbridge, they're a big Lancero shop.
You just don't see them. You just don't see them so much anymore. I think when they're rolled great, it's the best. It's the best size.
That's
personally.
the key. That's the key. If they're rolled great.
Correct. Absolutely.
It's a hard cigar to have a great draw, man.
It is. And in fact, I am very picky with Lanceros.
Right.
I really only smoke the Lancero. I really only smoke a company's Lancero if I know the brand owner is also a big Lancero guy, because then you don't have the draw problems, because he's smoking it too.
Right.
And that it's different if it's just like a adaptation of a line. So
I'll give you 2 of my favorite Lanceros.
Okay.
That are not, well, obviously that are not ours. Paul Stulak's Red Screaming Sun and the Jacob's Ladder.
I was going to say I'm a Southern draw for Lanceros. Robert is fantastic how he does his Lanceros. And the Plasencia, actually, Almafuerte, is a fantastic Lancero.
But the Themis a Lancero as well? No.
The Themis?
Yeah, do they make that
Protocol? Yeah, they make a Protocol Lancero.
Yeah.
I like that one.
They have Protocol's got, I think, their entire core line in Lancero outside of the Lawman series. Kevin and Juan are good friends as well.
Likewise.
So
good guys.
Let me ask you, so without getting down the rabbit hole of politics, because that's all fucked up these days too, what is your guys' take on what's going on with Nicaragua right now and the U.S. government? Are you getting nervous that there might be an actual temporary or for how long embargo coming down the pike?
This story is a little older than what the cigar industry knows about it. It was like the story was resurfaced.
It has.
This has been for quite some time. They're down the road of communism. I do not think that their government, I might be wrong, would do anything to. It has to be the number one export. I don't know the whole country. Yeah, so I don't think they would really fool around with it. And our country, right now, I hate to say it, our country's in shambles. So we can't do anything right anyway. So, but that's why you see a lot of guys are moving to Dominican right now. A lot of guys going to Honduras.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to make a plan B. I'm a Nicaraguan guy, man. I'm sorry, I can't. There are some great sticks made in the Dominican Republic, but they're not for me right now.
So is your plan to get everything and anything out of the country that you can get right now?
Dude, I got thousands of cigars. Thousands and upon thousands of cigars for my own personal stage. Plus what we have already for the business that's ready to go. So we'll be good for a while. We'll be good.
Well,
for
good.
A while.
I mean, that's awesome. I've talked with several other manufacturers that are just literally like anything and everything I can get out of the country right now is what I'm doing because of the uncertainty of it. And so when you guys are starting, what kind of havoc did the regulations that you guys had to go through play? Was that a tough process?
So we started as an underground bootstrapping, group, right?
Correct.
And we had to then navigate the legal process,
right?
Which was, difficult.
So you guys were black market before legal market.
Correct. Might have dipped our toes in the black market.
We're like the bootleggers. That's what we compared ourselves to, like the bootleggers.
We were selling one cigar. We sold one cigar bootlegging, but everything else is legit. We did get approached by Brian at the Privada Cigar Club, who was like, what are you guys doing, man? You guys got a great product. I love what you're doing, but what are you doing? Type of deal. And he took us under his wing and helped us get all the paperwork we needed to get done and made us a legit company. And we're working on another license now in another state, just to have another backup plan.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're going through, was it when you guys decided to kind of start making your own cigars, was it like you thought it wasn't going to be a big deal, meaning, hey, we're going to get in there, we're going to get somebody to make some cigars, we'll maybe sell a few, give out majority, and then the legality of everything comes in. Was that daunting?
Eye-opening.
It was eye-opening.
Eye-opening. There was a lot of old school New York in the beginning, right? Handshakes,
Bags
somebody,
of cash, sitting under the table.
That type of thing. You know what I mean? That's the way we started. And then to bring in real deal cigars, man, you got to have all your paperwork. You got to pay your taxes, 40 cents or something, 40 cents and a half or something per cigar. And then when you get your boxes of cigars, friendly government sometimes stick these probes in them and pulls them out and wrecks a whole bunch of cigars on each box.
Kind of like what they do to us. They stick probes in us.
And then they sit in customs, and you got shipping delays. So yeah, it's a different world, man. But it's like any business. You have to align yourself with the right people. You have to have somebody who can help you navigate the waters. And you have to fall on your face a couple of times before you really learn. And and we're still growing. We're still falling on our face. Still getting doors slammed in our face.
So hang on to that thought. I've got a question here from Barry, and then we're going to deep dive into falling on your face. As a sales guy, that was my career, was falling on my face for a long time. And I definitely like to kind of dive into that. But excuse me, Barry asks, what's your go-to cigar? Now, I have a two-part to this question. What's your go-to your cigar? And then what's your go-to non-your cigar?
I'll go first.
Of course you will.
Yeah, my go-to Cigar Clown cigar is going to be the AVB or the Crinkles, and I can't get any more Crinkles, and I have a few more AVBs left, so that's my go-to.
You want to share?
But my right. Go fuck yourself. My my go-to cigar if I'm going into a shop, I'm gonna get a Velvet Rat.
Okay, Drew State. All right. What about you, Ray?
I'm going to say the same, Velvet Rat for me, and I actually smoked one today, actually, believe it or not. Yeah, I'm a huge Drew Estate guy. Always been a huge Drew Estate guy. But end of the day, if I had to pick one in the Unico series, it would definitely be the Velvet Rat. I would say the Ferro would probably be a close second for me, if anything, coming out of the Unico series. As far as our brand is concerned, AVB is the top notch for me. That was the stick. And you know what? I'm going to say that the 5150 is definitely a close second right now. It definitely moved up for me over a couple of our other sticks, but AVB has always been my favorite. It was a killer stick. It was a Halloween stick. I was part of the banding process and the artwork for that. And I'm very proud of it. One of the things we tend to do as a brand is we kind of try to pay homage to New York and where we come from. And, Sleepy Hollow being in the New York State area, and the legend of Sleepy Hollow and coming up with a Halloween concept. We toured around with a bunch of different ideas for Halloween last year. And that was something that was near and dear to my heart because that's one of the folklore things that I love. I'm a big horror guy. I love horror. We did the Captain Spaulding when we were in the underground, on the only Connecticut we've ever put out.
Smoked one of those today, by the way.
Yeah, a great stick, one of the best Connecticut's I've ever had. And I'm not just saying that because it's our brand. There's a lot of other Connecticut's that I do like, but that was one of my favorite. So yeah, that was near and dear to my heart. Being part of the BAMF process and all the art concept that we do. So for me, the AVB is definitely still at the top of the list for me as far as our sticks is concerned. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, it's not the Ron or the Ron." I'm like, no, I mean, listen, the Ron for me is in the Hall of Fame. That kind of put us to where we're at today. Having a stick, being blessed to work with AJ Fernandez is an amazing experience, and it's definitely in the Hall of Fame. It's in the rafters of Madison Square Garden for me. But if I had to pick one, it would be the AVB.
So, I want to touch base on you guys falling. Part of my series this year is talking about mentors and mentees. I'm in fact he might not realize it, but one of my mentors is watching the show right now. Actually, also a sponsor of the show, Dan, who I do consider to be a mentor for me in many different ways. Dan Thompson over at McAuliffe, and one of the things that I've realized in my life is show me your 5 friends and I'll show you where you'll be, where you'll end up, And so for me, I've always taken the stance of the only way I'm going to be successful is if I model myself after other successful people doing what I'm doing and are at where I want to be at. So what's your all's mentality on having a mentor, whether it be, I have about 10, 12 mentors, some crossover for both business and personal for me, and some are just business and some are just personal. So what's your all's take on having somebody to confide in life or business?
Yeah, I have a mentor in my business. I have 2 actually. My real everyday business, I have a cemetery monument company here based out of New York City, and I have one of the largest manufacturers of cemetery monuments, who I'm very close friends with, and really helps steer me in the right direction. And plus, I have my old man who built the business and who I expanded on the business. So I'm very blessed to have that. And any type of business question, I can go to them. And in the cemetery monument business or the cigar business, it's the same thing, right? You have to have quality control. You have to have good customer service. You got to know your product, and you got to be able to read the room, right? You got to know when you're the idiot in the room, right? So to speak. You're into sales. You gotta know how to read
the idiot often.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, it happens, right? So that's there's nothing better than a good mentor that you can rely on, and if it's somebody in your industry, it's even better. I could say Brian from Pravada is my mentor in the cigar industry. Because when I have a question, I can call him or text him, and he'll give me an honest answer, man. Like, no bullshit. I might not want to hear it. You know, he hasn't steered me wrong, man. You know, I had problems with boxes, helped me with a solution for that. We had problems getting our cigars, even those paper packages they do in Nicaragua. You know, they were tearing up our cigars on one of our runs. So we have a new solution. We're using food quality, you know, bags that are, you know, food grade, safe, have awesome artwork on them. You know, just thinking outside the box. It's just great.
No, absolutely. What about you, Ray?
For me, in the cigar industry, it would definitely be Brian. I've had a close personal relationship with Brian prior to us becoming a brand and becoming, getting, the wheels turning when it came to actually, getting in contact with him and him reaching out to us. He's been a big mentor of mine when I've had any questions or, anything we talked about or, respecting my palate and ask me questions about certain things that he's done with Pravada and releases that he's done, and has sent me things and asked me my opinions on them. And from a business relationship, it's definitely one of our mentors besides just being myself. And for Joe, he's been a huge advocate excuse me, for us. And business wise, in the business that we're in, I would definitely say Joe, as far as business is concerned. He's kind of taught me a lot of things when it comes to business, because I didn't know shit about business, never been in a business. So, that aspect of, building this business with him together as a close personal friend and a brother to a business partner. A lot of things I've learned in business are come from him and his successful business that he runs with his family for over, what is it, 60 plus years, Joe?
Yeah, it's almost 75.
It's almost 75. So, again, and kind of, taking his mentorship in certain things and asking him questions about how we should do certain things in business. He's the go-to guy when it comes to that for us. So that's a big part for us and for me personally. And even in personal life, he's helped me with things as far as, financial things and everything else. So that for me, as far as life is concerned, I would also say my old man, I played football from the time I was 5 all the way up into college. I had a passion for it. He kind of instilled that passion to me, and that drive and that brotherhood as far as playing ball. And any of the coaches that I've had from youth, all the way up through high school and into college, I kind of attribute it, to what we do in a business is how we do things, or how I talk to people, or how I bring people around me, or I get my partners if they're need something from me motivation wise. Like I that's been instilled in me playing football my entire life, and being in an organized sport. And Joe sees that with his son now, who plays football. And anytime Joe has a question about anything football related, he comes to me, or he asks what my opinion is about this, or give his son tips about stuff when it comes to playing this physical sport, because I did it. I played every position on the offensive defensive line from the time I was 5 all the way up until college, like I said. And the mentorship and the drive that I've learned to be a team player, and you're not yourself, you're not there by yourself. You got to support your partners. Your partners got to be there to support you. If you don't work as a cohesive unit, it's not going to work, especially with 5 chefs in the kitchen. Like I touched on earlier, we got to be on the same page, in sync at the same time. We're in constant communication. So I would definitely say that's been a big part of my life, and instilling, the drive in me and the person I've become, as a man, now, and being a brand owner.
And I totally agree with both of you. And in fact, Joe, you touched on something that I love kind of expanding on a little bit. I have several mentors in my business life that I've hit the fuck you button on, because I know why they're calling. Because I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to listen to what they had to say, even though I knew I had to. I was going to. And you had said that when you make a call sometimes to Brian DeCend, that good, bad, or indifferent, he gives you the advice the way it is. Do you feel that is a qualification for a mentor, to be able to give you advice that you probably don't want to hear right now, but given some time to digest, comes across the right way? or would you rather have somebody that's just always in your corner, always rah rah rah?
You don't want a yes man.
Nope.
You're not going to go very far in life or in business with a yes man. You have to trust a mentor's or somebody. You have to trust their opinion, and you might not go the direction that they say, but you have to take their opinion in, digest it, and then make your own decision, right? So it's quality number one in my book. That's
I agree.
anybody who's going to just tell you yes to pacify you, they're not doing you any help. They're not doing you any help. Surround yourself with people who are going to question everything. Why are you doing it that way? Why are you doing it this way? That's what I say. I don't know.
No, I 100% of mentors, even Cigar Show Tim, which by the way would love to interview you guys. He has said,
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
said
Reach out.
100% of mentors have to be honest, even when it hurts. And
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, like I look as a mentor. It's hard to look at like a parent as somebody that you can confide really, really personal stuff in, right? Because they're your
Right.
folks, they're your dad. You don't want your mom or your dad to be like, you did what? Because parents have long memories. And so, but with a mentor, you still want that parental, what the fuck did you just do? But you can tell them what you did and
Right.
know that hard advice, albeit you might not want to hear it, is always there to grow you. So my next question is, what is your belief on criticism? Do you like criticism for criticism's sake, or do you feel criticism has to be said in a way to build versus tear down?
Okay, so that's like an interesting question, right? Because is it criticism within a trusted person, or because there's plenty of guys out there who just love to throw shit
No, every
at
Tom,
people?
Dick, or Harry has an opinion.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking
So I
about your
mean,
trusted people.
trusted people. I mean, I'm a guy like to rip the Band-Aid off, right? So let's get it over with. I don't have time. Tell me the worst of the worst, the best of the best, and let's go. So it's criticism. It hurts,
Sure.
right? No matter what it is, it hurts. You might not. You smile and okay, and then you fucking hang up the phone. You throw a few things. Fucking, you take your cigar that you love, you smash it on the floor, and then you get even more pissed. Like, why the fuck did I just
That
do
was my
that?
last ABV.
That's it.
Mm.
I'm a guy. I knock over tombstones in my office, man. 1,000 pounds. I fucking rah! My staff will tell you. Ray will tell you. When I get heated, man, I'm fucking knocking shit over.
But here's the thing with what Joe is saying, right? And I can use our business and personal relationship. Myself and him could have a disagreement, or he criticizes me or criticizes me. It's like, you know what? Fuck you, Joe. You're a dick. You're an asshole.
Yeah.
An hour later, call him up, bro. You know what? I thought about what you said. I came off the wrong. There's that one quality in the five of us that we're all men at the end of the day, right? And at the end of the day, we can take constructive criticism. We can take criticism amongst ourselves, and we can bury the hatchet and keep it moving to keep the business thriving, right? Same thing when it comes to anybody who gives us criticism outside the box. We take that as motivation. Right? It could be a hater. It could be somebody hating on us, like, your guys' fucking cigars are way overpriced. Who do you guys think you are? Blah, blah, blah. Listen, it is what it is. The quality speaks for itself. If it's something that you're not interested in, that's fine. Maybe we say, all right, listen, you know what? You don't like our shit. We'll send you the next batch. And if you love it, you don't have to pay for it. It's on us because we want you to be a fan of what we're doing. Right? We're taking criticism. You thought the cigar was trash. Maybe the one that you got or the pack that you got wasn't good. It's a man-made, handmade, product at the end of the day. Sometimes you get a bundle. Listen, there's sometimes I've bought boxes of cigars where literally 10 of the sticks were plugged or 10 of the sticks didn't smoke or burned like shit. It happens to everybody. Am I going to get pissed off at the manufacturer? Am I going to be pissed off in general for 5 minutes because this is fucking bullshit and I spent money? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, you have to come to your senses and say, you know what, it's a man-made product. It happens. You know what, if a company is good enough to go out of their way to be, you know, in the customer satisfactory business like we are, we want to rectify those problems. So we take that
Sure.
criticism and we take it to heart, and we want to rectify the problem. We want to come up with a solution that's going to be beneficial for us and beneficial for the customer at the end of the day. So yeah,
Sure.
at the end of the day, criticism to me personally, criticism, whether it's negative or constructive constructive criticism, it motivates me to be better.
Absolutely. And a bad box is subjective, because I might have bought 10 boxes from the same place, never had an issue with it. Am I really going to bitch over one potential out of just smoking what is it? A couple hundred cigars with no issues? So like you also kind of got to push back a little bit, right? Customers not always 100% right in what their thought process is. So you guys both have kids, right? I have a 15-month-old daughter, soon to be 16-month-old. Thank you. She's the absolute light of my life. I don't know how she's as good looking and beautiful as she is, other than the fact that she's got much more of her mother than me. I mean, look at this chrome dome. I mean, this thing is just, I mean, Jesus. I know, Joe, we're right there.
I don't have that problem.
So when your kids see you, Joe, 75 years, family business, Ray, starting a business with your friends, when your kids look at you and go, I want to quit what I'm doing, whatever thing they're doing, what's your response to that? What advice would you give a young father when their kid says you want to quit?
Well, I'll jump in first and say that Joe probably has a better answer for you because his kids are a little bit older than mine. Mine my oldest just turned 6 and my little guy turns 5 in February. So, you know, it's the little odds and ends, you know, still kind of growing pains, you know, going through the process of being a toddler into being, you know, a young child and stuff like that. So when they get frustrated with certain things, you know, you try to kind of steer them in the right direction and, kind of pump them full of, giving them that confidence that they need and doing something when they get frustrated. Because there's times for me, like it was with my dad and my mother growing up, and with me and my brother, and it's like, you fall down, he gets himself, stuck somewhere. I'm like, oh, Daddy, I need help. No, you put yourself in that position, get your ass up, and you get yourself out of the situation that you put yourself in. If it's a situation where they need help, obviously you're going to put your hand out and you're going to help them. But if it's they need to understand at a young age that when you get yourself into a certain position, whether it's you fall down or you hurt yourself or you're stuck in between the couch cushions and you can't get out because you put yourself there, you get yourself up and you got to have that motivation to get your ass out of where you put yourself in. Right? You want to go upside down on the couch and you think you're a ballerina, you got to get your ass out of that position. These are the young children problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I broke my toy. Well, I'm not going to go out and buy you another toy because you broke it and decided to throw it down the stairs because your monster truck, you thought you were at Monster Jam and you're going to throw it down the stairs and it's going to be like, oh, well, Dad's just going to buy me a new one. No, it don't work that way. You got to learn that, if you're going to do certain things, you're going to have certain, consequences when those things happen. So my dealings with my kids on the younger aspect is a little bit different than with Joe. Joe has kids that are a little bit older, so he could probably answer it a little bit better than where I'm coming from.
I mean, Ray, you pretty much hit it right on the head, man. We don't raise no quitters. Like if you start something, you finish it. That's it. There's no chance of backing out. You finish it to the best of your ability. Same thing in school. I don't care if you're an A student, a B student, a C student. You gotta pass. You have to do your work. You have to try. I don't like half-assing. Half-assing. I get on top of them for half-assing. My son, when he was younger, he was bullied. He's a big kid, and I got him into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And at 7 years old, because he was so big, he was fighting in a weight class of like 10 and 11-year-olds. At 8 years old, he was fighting against 13-year-olds, and he was winning tournaments. Now he's playing football. He's on a travel team. He's in the eighth grade. He's working out with a high school team already. And he's working out with the varsity squad, not the JV squad. So he's a fucking beast. This kid. He's got balls of steel. Like Jojo got brass balls. My son has brass balls. This kid. But anything you do, for example, he wanted to get into fishing, so he has a paper route. He saved up money, bought a fishing rod. Now he's in the fishing club in school. He goes on fucking fishing trips on these charter boats with the kids in school. It's fucking great. I don't like fucking fishing boats. I get sick. You want to do it? Go ahead, do it. Oh, I could tell I had a miserable experience on a fucking fishing charter. Fuck that.
All right. Well, now you've got to tell us the story.
Yeah,
Fishing's for the birds, right, Joe?
So yeah, fishing. So I a bunch of buddies. We gotta go on a fishing thing. Yeah, we're gonna catch these blues. They give a good fight. Oh, this is great. I've done surf casting, whatever. It's fishing's fun, right? You smoke a cigar, you hang out. But we get on this big boat and it's crowded, man. You got a little space, and we're going out to where these bluefish are, and the fucking water's got like a little chop to it, a little chop. And then we get out into the ocean, and that little chop turns into swells. We're talking like 6, 7 footers, 8 footers. I start getting a little seasick. I start puking. Guys are laughing. They're eating their sandwiches around me. So one guy goes, you got to go inside. Go inside the boat. You'll feel better. I got inside. It was like 10 times fucking worse.
Yeah, that's the place you want to be.
And it wasn't going up and down. It was the boat was swirling, right? Because we were sitting there.
Sounds awful.
Then the diesel fuel started getting to me. I threw up for 5 hours. 5 hours. And these guys are drinking beers. They're fucking gutting fish, throwing fish guts at my feet. Fuck it, man. Turn green. I'm never motherfucking never get out. Now I'm going on a boat for pleasure. As long as the water's like glass. I need a light like that.
Well,
Fuck that.
That is, I can relate. I bet you I'd be in the same way if I ever did any kind of deep sea fishing.
Terrible.
I do want to say, like, that would be the worst advice ever. Why would somebody tell you to go inside the boat? Everything's moving inside the boat. You might as well have been hallucinating.
They did it for a reason.
Yeah,
They did it for a reason. Hey, Joe, go in the boat, Joe. And this guy, hey, I'll go inside. Yeah.
I go rest my eyes.
Yeah.
I think I laid down. There's selling
Fucking
hot
room
dogs
spinning.
in there. Yeah, room spinning together. You want a hot dog?
You might as well have been in a fucking typhoon.
Yeah.
You want some beef and peppers? Sausage and peppers?
My stomach's hurting right now thinking about that night.
Oh, jeez.
That was the worst.
So how much of having a young business is like raising children?
Oh, it's the same thing, man. You got to nurture it.
You
got to spank it. Yeah, you got to spank it when it's doing wrong. You got to encourage it when it's doing right. You got to be the parent and make sure it's on its right course. You have to correct it, man. You have to be on top of it, but you also have to let it naturally blossom, right? Because you can't be a helicopter parent. Right. I don't know who's watching your show, but if you're a helicopter parent, you ain't doing your kids any justice, bro.
Right.
You gotta let your kid. You gotta let your kids, and it's natural, right, for us to be. Oh my God, he fell off the swing. All right, he fell off the swing. When I grew up in the era of metal slides in New York City.
Oh, yeah.
On 100 degree day, and you burnt your ass. Your legs were burnt. Oh man,
you weren't a man if you didn't get 3rd-degree burns on a fucking on a slide in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah,
That was a rite of passage.
That's right, and we didn't have no fancy wood chips or anything at the bottom of the swings. We had concrete. If you were stupid enough to fall off the swing, you gotta fucking crack your head. And then you get your beating when you go home.
Every once in a while, you'd see somebody bring a towel just to sit on the towel and go down the slide.
So I'll give you a funny story in reference to that, right? So growing up in the neighborhood, I don't know if it as far out as Colorado, but we played a game called Manhunt as a kid in Brooklyn. So you had 2 teams, and one team would go hide, one team would be the Seekers, and the Seekers would go out, and if they caught you, you would have to go back to, and you'd be put in jail, and you'd be
Oh, they
like in an
call it
area
a
with
jailbreak.
jailbreak. So
Okay.
same concept as manhunt. We call it a manhunt, right?
Yeah.
So, and then one per, whoever's left on the team would have to come, and if they ran by the jail and tagged everybody can get out and spread out, and the game would keep going. So playing manhunt one night, and one of my childhood friends' his house had 3 steps up to concrete, and then another 3 steps up to the their house where they were going. It was two doors on the side, and up when you go up those first 3 steps, there was a little ledge that was up, that was concrete based, that had a tree with a picket fence. So I'm getting chased by one of my friends. So I hop up those 3 steps onto that little ledge, and I'm trying to run away from it, and I missed with my foot the part of the concrete step. So when I fell and I hit the wooden fence, and when I still have the scar to this day on my face, I went right through the fucking picket fence, literally right through my face. So now, like, I'm not crying. Like, I didn't even think it was anything of it. It was just the shock of it all with the adrenaline pumping. Like, dude, you're fucking gushing blood out of your face. I had to be like 11, 12 years old. So I'm like, fuck. I'm like, whatever. I'm holding my face. So I go home. And, first reaction from my Italian mother, she's fucking, oh my God, your face, oh, blah, blah, crying. My father's like, he goes, move your hand. My father's Irish, by the way. My father goes, hey, get him a couple stitches, it'll be fine. Come on, we'll go to the hospital. Go to the hospital. And again, it's the adrenaline's pumping, so the blood's squirting out of your face. I had this gash on my face. So the emergency room wouldn't touch me, because it's considered, under plastic surgery. It's the face. Anywhere in the face that you receive an injury like that, they're not going to touch you. So they sent us to a plastic surgeon. So there's this plastic surgeon that we go to in Bay Ridge, not too far from where I live in Bensonhurst. And this guy's old school. So he sits me down. He's looking at another guy's, it's not that bad. He goes, come here, we're going to stitch you up. So I ended up getting 60 stitches on the inside of my face, and another 40 on another 40 on the outside. But to numb my face, you're going back, like almost 30 years ago. 25 years plus ago, he used fucking pure cocaine, to numb the wound on my face. Yeah. I'm like, oh, she had a whole bowl. Oh my God, this guy was doing a little bit before he fucking put it on my face. I'm like, up to now, like, I don't know any better. I'm freaking like 11, 12 years old. He rubs it, he stitches it up. But, again, it's like, you don't even fucking, those are scars. Those are rites of passage, growing up and doing stupid shit like that when you were a kid.
Did he come in the room like, all right, so this is what we're gonna do?
I can't confirm and deny that. I can't confirm and deny that.
So no, I mean that's the way is so much of growing up, and this is what's fun to talk about business with business owners. So much of growing up as a kid to a teenager to an adult is exactly like running a business. You have to fall, scrape, cut yourself, get into an accident, throw some fisticuffs every now and then. And at the end, you graduate, and now you are the business that you want to be at. So where do you guys see Cigar Clowns in 10 years, 15, 20 years?
I'm hoping, I'm personally hoping, I think we all are, that we are a household name in the cigar industry, like your Drew Estate, your Opus X, your Fuente, your McAuliffe's, all those big brands, man. That's kind of what we're going for, facings, and we're coming. We're going to be a force. We're just playing our cards right.
So what is next in the realm of Cigar Clowns? What do you guys have coming up that you can talk about? What's the 2023 forecast? And I ask it like this. The boom is kind of going down from what it was a couple years ago. So how does that affect you guys? How are you guys gearing up for it? And how are you guys forecasting the future?
Well, we think we already know we're doing business a little differently in 2023. We're not gonna, have so many drops. We're gonna cut the drops back a little bit. everybody is affected by this recession that
Yes.
the world is in right now.
Yep.
And entertainment dollars, which cigars are, fall under is, entertainment, leisure. They're tight right now. When you go to the supermarket and eggs are $7 a dozen,
Yep.
you're not going to have, $10 to spend on a stick.
Yeah.
The people are always going to smoke cigars, right? So it's just, how do we make the brand that people want to smoke our sticks, and how do we stick out from the rest, right? And getting that premium tobacco, and keeping our prices down, even though prices are going up on our end, but
Everything.
trying to keep our prices down to the consumer. That's what we're focusing on. That's what we're focusing on.
So you bring up a really good point, and this is actually something that my wife and I got a little teared up thinking about the other night. And I think if you have any sort of empathy in your body, it would kind of take your breath away. What you just said, Joe. For the first time in my life, gasoline and eggs are the same price, and people are having to make a decision: do I get eggs or do I get that extra gallon of gas?
Right.
So how does that change how you guys model that your business going forward, knowing that inflation's way out of control? Cigars are a luxury item, and you're now competing for literal food dollars to an extent.
Yeah.
Well, what we do is we send Vinny and Tony down to have a sit down, and we say, listen, this is what the prices are going to be, and that's it.
Nah.
Do you get the bag or the bat? You choose whatever you want.
So
Imagine it was that easy.
As we touched upon, we're still a young company, right? So we don't have all this massive overhead that these older companies have, right? We're lean and mean. So
Correct, but hold on, let me stop you there. Because you're a young company, you also don't have the buying power.
that is correct. That is correct. But I think some of the bigger companies are going to cut back on some of their buying when their lines are used to selling, say, 1 million cigars a year, or a couple 100,000 cigars a year, and their orders are going to come in for half, or say 3/4. There's going to be tobacco on the market. There's always going to be tobacco on the market.
Right.
It's just how we can cherry pick the best, and I think we're getting good at that.
Right.
I
think we're getting good.
I would say you're getting really good at it.
Yeah, man.
You're getting really good at it. And in fact, Danny sent me, I don't know what it is, but it was like this big. It was a Perfecto.
Oh, was it the Scaramouche, or was it the
it was
swamp thing?
Probably like a 50-52 ring gauge.
Probably the Scaramouche.
But it was like it was like a nub style length, but it was a Perfecto. So
was it a Maduro?
That was yes.
So it's probably either the Scaramouche or it could be the Freak Show.
Really good. Freak Show is what it was.
Freak Show.
Freak Show. That was really good. Really good. So how many of your cigars are normal everyday lines?
Right now, 0. We're just doing craft style lines.
That's what I thought. So when they're out, and a new blend comes in, or are you at the point where you're bringing in old blends, not old blends, but cigars, and re-releasing them?
We did re-release the Ron, but in a different size. That's what Ray smoking. We called it the Not Ron, and the cigar was different than the original because 18 months different on the crop from the same tobacco, same farm, just a different crop yield on it. Was 18 months, so it did change the cigar. We are re-releasing another cigar, the Festivus, in a different size.
Hold on, Seinfeld Festivus?
Yeah, we did last year with a holiday cigar. Was the Festivus.
Does it
So
have a
this year-
poll on the band?
So that's the look forward to. That's our next stick.
Awesome.
Mhm.
So as we're getting down to the end, I'd like to kind of ask you guys a few lightning round questions
Sure.
that I ask everybody. Answer however you want, completely up to you. But we'll start with Ray for the first question. Ray,
Okay.
Joe, same questions to you. Ray, what's your favorite rapper? Now you can give me musician and cigar rapper, or you can just give me cigar rapper. Completely up to you. But what is your favorite rapper?
That's easy. Cigar rapper is San Andreas. Favorite rapper of all time is the Notorious B.I.G.
Boom. Same
I
answer.
figured you were going to do that. Okay.
Same
Little
answer.
New
Got to
York
represent
love.
my borough. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I thought somebody was for sure going to say Jay-Z, but all right, I could see.
Well, before you move on with the lightning questions, if you're talking about consistently who's still alive, thankfully, and didn't get murdered and wasn't taken out of our lives too soon, then yes, Jay-Z would be the guy because he is the culmination of what I think Biggie would have been if he was still
I can
alive to
agree.
this day. As far as lyrics is concerned, I mean, listen, it's a if you're talking about all time for me, it's definitely Biggie. But I mean, as far as rappers are concerned, you could definitely throw Tupac in this in the conversation. You can throw DMX in the conversation. You can throw Nas in the conversation. There's a lot of guys. You could throw Jadakiss in the conversation. You could throw a lot of rappers in the conversation.
Lightning round, right?
So
Lightning round. You know what lightning?
just wanted to, I wanted to
lightning,
put that
lightning,
out there.
lightning.
I just
Yeah,
wanted to,
it's
I just wanted
totally
to put
fine.
it out
Totally
there.
fine.
Lightning strikes a couple of times in a couple of seconds. So let's take it easy. You got to charge it.
Buds are dying. I'm charging. My ears are dying now. Forget it.
So, are you? What about your favorite cut?
I'm a V-cut guy, or I use my nail.
Perfect.
Okay, V cut or nail, perfect cut, straight cut. What is your favorite drink pairing?
Coffee.
Ginger ale. No, ginger beer.
Okay. Coffee is definitely one of mine. If you were to go with a liquor, what would it be?
Scotch.
Rum. Dark rum.
Okay. Not a huge rum guy, but Ray, definitely agree with you on the scotch. Scotch, bourbon, or whiskey for me. What is your favorite size? I think we touched on this a little bit, but what's y'all's favorite size? If you only had one
6x50.
size, 650 Toro.
You know what? I'll go with that. I don't have a favorite size. I'll go with that.
Yes,
size.
you do. Yes, you do.
What's my favorite size?
do. Papa's Fritas.
Papa's Fritas. Yeah, I like that.
That is your favorite size.
That is my favorite size. Those petite.
Like the 4x48s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's
Very
true.
nice. If you had one person in history, you're not allowed to say Jesus or Winston Churchill. If you had one person in history that you want to smoke a cigar with, who would it be, and what would be your cigar you would bring?
Al Capone,
Mhm.
AVB.
Fitting.
Al Capone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I would have said Winston
person.
Churchill, but Winston Churchill wasn't an option. So
Joe not liking that answer.
Yeah, I don't know. Al Capone, man. I don't know. So many other greats that you could have
Al
smoked a
Capone.
cigar with.
So then who's yours?
I mean, can the person be living or dead?
It doesn't matter. And a person alive, living, dead, science fiction, it doesn't matter.
I'm gonna say, and most people might turn me off right now. I'm gonna say Donald Trump, and he doesn't smoke cigars. He doesn't smoke cigars. So
If he did, what would you bring?
If he did, I would bring him. I would probably bring him a 1926.
Okay. Fancy.
Mm-hmm.
If you all had a dream tobacco, or not dream tobacco, is there a tobacco you would love to work with but have not found a suitable use for it yet?
Costa Rican.
Okay.
Costa Rican's nice. I like that answer, right? That's a good answer.
So you're gonna go with Costa Rican too, Joe?
Yeah, I'll stick with my partner there.
Why you not going with the African tobacco?
Ooh, the African's good shit though.
I know. It's just you're right. I'll go with them. I'll go with my African tobacco, my Sumatra.
Mm.
But I'm kind of working with it, so it's you know.
Right here, you have John, who liked both of the answers, said Trump and Capone in the same room would be highly interesting.
Very, very interesting.
I know all the best routes to smuggle booze.
Yo, and I'm gonna tell everybody right now that Trump was a success in a New York City when the city was run by the mafia. The man knows how to fucking hold his ground. I know guys that worked on his jobs and he knew everybody's name on the job. And you're talking about laborers. He would ask them how they're doing, how their kids, you know, so that's kind of...
He's a guy's guy.
Yeah, he's a guy's guy. You know, as much as
lightning round, Joe. Lightning round, Joe. Joe, lightning round. Joe, lightning round.
So we need to take a still of that shot where Joe just stuck his tongue out. That needs to be banned.
Yeah, man. Go for it.
Should be a gift.
How you doing?
So, are you guys retrohalers? What's your take on retrohale?
The 5150 is the best retrohaled cigar I've ever smoked in my life. And I'm not saying that because it's all brand. And I said that when we tested it, and I say that still down to this day.
I'm a retrohaler.
That was a short answer. Go fuck yourself.
I'm a retrohaler, and I retrohale too much. My name is Joe.
I retrohale almost an entire cigar. I love it. I absolutely love that. So when you are blending a cigar, do you take that retrohale into perspective in the blend, in that spice coming through on how you want? And how much does that retrohale play into the blend?
It definitely pays a lot into the blend and the process that we go through, man. It's definitely something that we listen, if you're a cigar smoker and you don't just smoke cigars, you retrohale your sticks, whether you retro the whole stick or you do it frequently throughout the thirds, or however you go about it. But definitely retrohaling definitely changes the experience of the stick because you have more sensory in your nose, as you know, if you do retrohale cigars. So it definitely plays into the part in our blending process.
Nice, keeping it short, like
it. So as you guys are getting bigger, is there a goal or somewhere down the road to have a factory?
I mean, that's an interesting question, man. I mean that's like a big dream, but I don't know, man. There's a lot of responsibilities with that too, right?
Correct.
That's a whole different business.
I would be very content with having our logo on the side of AJ Fernandez's factory.
I can see it now. The 5U goes down there. You get some sausage and peppers, bring some good rolls down, feed the factory. Bagels, absolutely. Some bagels and lox. I mean, why not? So what is, let me think how I'm going to ask this. What is next on the horizon in a sense of, is the next cigar going to be a Cigar Clown cigar, or is it going to be a collab?
So next cigar is a Cigar Clown cigar.
Yes.
And is there somebody in the industry outside of AJ that you're like, fuck, I would love to work with you?
There's a couple of guys. There's a couple of guys.
Are you allowed to name a few?
Nah, I mean, I'll name one who I text message, I Instagram message all the time or Facebook message all the time. I would love to work with Steve Saka. Steve, I'm calling for you. I keep on calling for you. But I've gotten a couple of responses from him. They're all funny. Love fucking Steve. Big fan of Steve. So I would love to do a project with him, bro. He's just, to me, he's great. And I love to do, I'll put Willie in there too.
Willie Herrera.
Yeah, those are the two I'd name. But then there's so many other great guys. Boatworks Studios, There's
Pete
freaking
Johnson. I could see
Pete
you guys doing a
Johnson,
Halloween release with Pete Johnson with the
That
whole
would be a dream.
monster cigar clown collab. I think that would be fucking awesome.
That would be
Do
a
like
dream.
an It the Clown collab
Mm.
with Pete Johnson. I think that'd be fun. By
But
the
then
way, yeah, I do
Stallone.
gotta
I mean, there's so many people we'd love to
I
do a
do gotta
collaboration.
I
with,
do gotta
right?
ask, why has there not been an It? Probably the most famous horror clown period in history. Why has there not been a It Clown cigar coming out?
Why can't that be?
Could be being worked on.
Maybe some insider information here.
No driblets.
Well, fantastic. Well, I know it's super late there, guys, so I won't keep you guys on much longer. Thank you so much for coming on. This was absolutely fantastic. And just for everybody's knowledge, what is the Flaca and what's the blend? Obviously just country, but what's the wrapper?
Nicaraguan Puro Maduro.
That one's a Maduro. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Connoisseur was a San Andreas.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And
well, so wait, so what are your final thoughts on the Flaco?
I thought it was fantastic. It's got a beautiful amount of pepper, but it doesn't punch you in the face. It's a nice pepper, eases you into it. It's got a beautiful earthy leatheriness to it. There's a tinge of a sweetness on the backside of the palate as well. I'd say all in all, this thing is absolutely phenomenal. You guys
Appreciate
really
it.
knocked it out of the park.
Appreciate
I
it.
would love to get my hands on more of these. Is maybe I'll hit Danny up for a few more, but no, thank you guys so much for coming on. Truly appreciate taking the night with me, and
Yeah,
it's been an absolute pleasure. You guys are more
Likewise.
than welcome to come on anytime you want. So this is the part of the show where I'll hand it over to you guys to say your goodbyes. Again, tell everybody how to find you and where to go to find your cigars and to why give you a chance if they see you on a shelf.
Well, shout out first of all to Danny from 505 for making the connection. You know, and thank you for having us on. It's been an absolute pleasure. CigarClowns.com for all your swag and accessory needs, coming down to anything Cigar Clowns related. That is the place to be. Any information that you need on the Cigar Clowns is on our Instagram and our Facebook. We constantly keep updated of teasers, when things are coming out, where things are located, where you could find our sticks. Feel free to message us on Instagram or Facebook if you have any questions regarding anything that has to do with the Cigar Clowns. We will answer at a prompt time, and we will let you know everything you need to know about the brand, or where you can find the brand, or what local retail is. If anybody is looking to get our cigars in their local shop that's not currently in their area, and you want to make that connection for us, please feel free to do so. If you haven't had our sticks, if you check out our social media and you talk to people who have had our sticks, like I said, trust our palate and what we're doing. I think we're doing a pretty good job of what we're doing, and the feedback speaks for itself. There are reviews out there on all of our sticks and what we're doing, and we're definitely looking to continue to move this forward.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having us on. I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. And for everybody watching, give these guys a shot. Their sticks fly off the market with a fucking waiting list of people. And that's not an exaggeration. Everything that I've had that's been given to me, that I've picked up, has been quality through and through. If these guys sold in boxes, everything they would have that I've tried is absolutely box worthy to spend your money on. So if you see them, don't wait. Ooh, that's a beautiful bag.
Yeah, buddy.
If you see them on the shop, don't wait. They will be gone the next time you go to that shop. Really quick, throw out that shop one more time. That's got about 40 5-packs left.
Was that
State Line Cigars in Delaware?
Yep. Use stateline.com. Use the code STATELINE to get 10% the order of Cigar Clowns with free shipping.
So we have Bruce, if I can find my mouse, who is asking, he's got a friend at Main Saint Cigars. Do you guys know that one?
Main Street. Yep.
Main
Street.
That's
Street
where the
Saint
Piazza
Cigars.
Franco is from. Mhm.
Oh, geez, I read that totally wrong. He's wondering if he can get them there.
They're sold out there, man. Oh, you can get the 5150. I believe is sold out there as well.
Yep.
He might Heartbreakers. I think Main Street has some hidden stash of Heartbreakers there.
Well, there you go.
That's a great stick right there.
There you go,
Mhm.
Bruce. Order them. Post in the comments. Let us know what you think. And to everybody, stick around real quick, guys, after the show. But to everybody watching, thank you so much to all the sponsors. We have Drew Estate, Smokin', Abe DeBabna down there at Smokin' Cigars. By the way, definitely a shop you guys should probably make your way down to. K by Karen, Christoph, BAMF Cigars, McAuliffe Cigars, Sagrado Cigars. Axe and Oak was the drink that I had tonight. And yes, Bruce, it did feel good on the throat. And New Air Humidors. Thank you, everybody, for the support. And until we see you all again, smoke what you like, smoke as often as you can, and have an absolute great rest of your week. Bye-bye.
Peace.